I will start from the agenda for our webinar. First, I will tell you more about Travelpayouts affiliate program, about our last news, what offers are now launched in our program, and then I will give a word to Brian. He will give presentation of Omio program, and then we will have question section. But anyway, you can ask your question when it's ready in the chat, and we will answer it. If we will have no time to answer the question on the webinar, we will send you in email the answer. So please don't be shy, ask anything. Travelpayouts was born from the avia sales meta search engine, and now we offer almost 50 campaigns. Our advertisers are Kayak, Booking.com, Omio, and we have more than 220,000 partners. And I hope that some of these partners are you guys in the chat. And we are growing up very fast. You can check our website, the Travelpayouts website. You can see your advertiser dashboard. You can check our knowledge base, and you can read something on the blog about our offers, or maybe something about our team, just to have fun. We launched some new offers, and I will tell you a little bit about 3 of them. First one is Hotels.com. It offers deals and discounts for hotel reservations. It's a very famous company, part of Expedia Group, so join them. The second one is AirHelp, the world's leader in flight delay compensation. And the third one is Trainline. It offers tickets to trains, bus, and other ground transportation in Europe. In Travelpayouts, we have a lot of special increased commissions. For example, for Discover Car Hire, our car rental program, we have increased commission till the end of the summer. It's up to 61% for affiliate, so check them on the site and work with that car rental company. Amusement special promo. Amusement offers tickets to different museums, as you can guess from the name of this company, and they have special promo too, up to 54%. The third one is tickets. Tickets offers tickets to different museums, attractions, and everything that can be interesting for the tourists. They have 7% commission in August, and you have a little time left. The next webinar in Travelpayouts is webinar with My Rent a Car. It calls why you should go global with My Rent a Car, and you can register via this link in the presentation. Please follow us on the LinkedIn so you can see the freshest news from Travelpayouts. And of course, you will have a copy of this presentation after the webinar. And this last but not the least news from Travelpayouts is our Inspiration tab. This tool was designed by Travelpayouts team and help you to sell tickets to airplanes with very interesting way. Please check it, install it, and then sell it to your users. I think that it's time to talk to Brian, the head of Omio affiliate program. He will give you a presentation. Brian, are you ready?
Awesome. So welcome everybody. My name is Brian Nevin. I head up the affiliate program for Omio. Thanks, Valeria, for the introduction. I hope everybody takes something from this, finds it interesting, asks tons of questions. We'll follow up or we'll try and answer them in due course. So I'll jump straight into it. First thing I want to touch on is some travel industry trends and some user experience topics. So travel industry trends. What we see is 60% of leisure overall bookings happening in terms of travel. 60% of them are leisure bookings, 40% of them are business. 50% of all travel bookings are made online, and that's growing year on year. Mobile applications, half of the online bookings are made through mobile, and again, that's some that's a trend that's like increasing year on year since the last like 4 years, we believe. In terms of additional travel industry trends, so self-service, nearly 50% of all passengers take advantage of a self-service for most of their recent trips, and that's increased from 31% in 2017. And the reason behind this is people just want an easier kind of user experience, and they want to own their experience in terms of what they're doing, and they don't want to be contacting customer service and customer support after they make the booking. They want to be able to tailor their booking within their accounts and so forth. Off-season travel, so big price advantage for users in terms of trends here. Also more booking availabilities and no queues, so better experience for the local culture. And then mini trips. Mini trips are getting really, really popular in terms of travel at the moment. That's what we see. We see a lot of passengers traveling 2, 3, 4 day trips consecutively month on month. So they're going mainstream. These kind of include weekend trips, spontaneous decisions, flash sales. So detailed itineraries are essential here. And then again, like I said, mobile. Mobile bookings, as mentioned, about 50% of mobile bookings are made on mobile at the moment. So jumping through these slides, on to the next one. So user experience. I'm going to touch on localization and personalization and how we do it in Omio, intuitive search and simple navigation, our easy checkout process, and then our mobile friendliness. So localization and personalization. As you can see from the slide, when you land on the Omio homepage, there's a currency, there's a country, and there's a sign-in. If you're a returning user, obviously all these preferences are saved for you, but we give the user that preference straight away in terms of what is their local currency, what is their local language, and how can they set up an account very, very easily. In terms of when you're a new or a returning user, we try and build out our landing pages with intent here. So this example in this slide is pretty straightforward. Tailor landing pages to user intent, train and bus connection landing pages tailored to intent. So this is an SEO and SEM setup. It's intent-based analysis of search keywords. So we see that the user is searching for recommended results, kind of special offers. They're very kind of, they're looking basically for the cheapest, fastest, and the soonest, so the most relevant kind of train journey. And what we're trying to do is personalize those landing pages for those users when they come from search results from Google. So very much like reducing the time a user spends searching for exactly what they want, ticking a load of boxes. They initially, when they hit that landing page, have all of the needs that they require, which is really cool. And then finally, in terms of localization and personalization, the purchase funnel. And what we do at Omio is we try and make the purchase funnel as simple and as quick as possible. Our overall motto as a business is make travel easy for the user. So the user hits the homepage, the next step is the search result, and the next step is the booking. And we try and keep that very, very simple. There's no in between. There's no in different page loads. We're not trying to resell the user with tons of monetization in between all these this user experience. We very much want to get them into the booking funnel as quickly as possible, and that's obviously beneficial to our affiliate partners as well. So intuitive search. This basically shows how basically Omio are following the UX trends that we already touched on. So when the user lands on the page, there's already a smart calendar in place. That enables users to easily choose departure and arrival dates, which is really cool. Our search option is basically available to all users. So when you land on whatever page, the website knows what IP address you are, and it knows your preferences. So it has some sort of available content to help the user explore and plan their upcoming trips. In this example, it's obviously top trips to Berlin, because that user was specifically looking for trips to Berlin. And in terms of filtering, finally, on our results page, enabling users to accurately filter for their needs. So this is super important. This kind of tab is generally hidden. They can open it up, but it's very important because every user has different preferences, right? So they want to be able to potentially filter out certain providers, maybe certain modes of transport, but we can filter in terms of pricing here as well. So it's very good for user experience. Moving on, so simple and easy checkouts. This is the next stage of the funnel, basically. So here we talk about the booking funnel under the umbrella of simple and easy checkout. So on this slide, you'll see basically a logical order of information, 1, 2, clear instructions for the users, and 3, a progress bar located on the header. Class and fare provides additional information on the footer of the page. The users are prompted to continue to the next page, basically into the passenger details. So again, very, very quick flow, and we're trying to get that user from one page to the other and eventually into their booking. So on to the next one. Basically, on the side you'll see the passenger details section. Again, you'll see the progress bar and the header, and they're now in passenger details. Additionally, we prompt the user to sign in to capture their details automatically. Very, very important that we get users setting up accounts. You can book an Omio without having an account, but we try and make sure all our users are additionally, after their post their booking, we're gathering their customer information, but we're trying to get that during the booking flow. And that's beneficial for the user when they return. So they have all this information preloaded and pre-saved. Once again, in the footer, the user is prompted to the next step. So review your journey details, and that's onto here. So this is the payments page. So the last step of the purchase funnel. You will see the progress bar and the header again. Here we ask users to provide payment methods, and class and fare details are still visible for the user's reference. And if the user has a voucher discount, which generally comes from our affiliate partners, they can redeem same at this stage in the drop-down menu there. Cool. So next slide. So mobile friendliness. We pride ourselves on our mobile friendliness. We are a mobile-first business. In saying, like, we want to users to always think about not only our business to book their travel, but as thinking as Omio as a companion, something that sits in their pocket, an app that they can always use from day-to-day travel, when they're booking their long-term travel or they're booking their business travel. So mobile friendliness is very, very close to our hearts. And this is the last topic on travel industry trends. So it's essential to distinguish between mobile product and app product. Mobile web must be mobile friendly, same functionality as the desktop version of our product. And as you can see from the slide, when the user reaches the mobile web page, they can easily download the Omio app through the smart banner. So we're prompting users to download the app and get them into the app. The app obviously converts slightly better. It's a better user experience. And also when a user has an app, it's a bit more personable. So moving on, so mobile web purchase flow. So here you see the mobile web purchase flow, identical to desktop. Users move from homepage, search, passenger details, and payment. With Omio, provide an improved extra personalization and simplified transactions. So it's very important to note that Omio is the #1 mobile ticket issuer in Europe right now, which is a huge feat for us, and we're very proud of that. So amongst our competitors, we're issuing more mobile tickets in Europe at the moment. As you can see, our app is available in the App Store and also in Google Play. And next slide. So this is the in-app purchase flow. Again, identical to desktop and mobile web. So we very much pride ourselves on consistency here. There's no huge change between desktop, mobile, and web in terms of look and feel, which is very, very kind of consistent, and it makes it easier for us to improve all three kind of modes of devices. So quickly on to about Omio, and I don't know how much of you guys know much about Omio. So basically, we are a bookable kind of search engine. We do trains, buses, flights, and ferries. Ferries is beta at the moment, soon to launch in this month, I believe. So we're beta testing at the moment in a couple of markets in the Mediterranean, which is super exciting for us. Our overall motto, like I mentioned, is we want to make travel easy. So we amalgamate all these modes of transport, and we aggregate the results on our homepage, on our desktop, and on our app. But bearing in mind, over 90% of the bookings actually happen on Omio. We aren't a meta search website. We are definitely a fully fledged bookable platform. We pride ourselves on our direct relationships that we have with all of the big train, bus, and air providers globally. In terms of monthly views, we get over 27 monthly visitors across all domains, and that's growing. We have over 800 integrated transport partners, like I mentioned, and over 90% of them are bookable on our platform. We connect over 100,000 cities across Europe, fully covering 15 markets. We have presence in 36 markets, and 18 languages on desktop, which is very, very impressive. 14 languages on an app, and we have over 12 million downloads. That's kind of old data. I'd say we're probably close to about 15 million downloads now. Search is possible in 11 currencies, but unfortunately, which is growing, payment is only possible in 4 currencies at the moment, but that will grow definitely over time as we improve the product. To kind of give you a little bit of insights, I don't know how many of you formerly knew us as GoEuro, but we definitely renamed and we rebranded recently. So on February 26th, we renamed to Omio, and that's basically a need for an expansive brand name and for us to expand into global markets. So at the moment, we're very much the market leader in the European markets. We have 100% coverage across all those markets with all our direct providers. But our next step is to go into APAC. It's to go into Latin America and North America. And to do this, we needed a name that's both memorable, lighthearted, and very much a neutral name in all languages. So be sure to hear very exciting things about Omio going forward in terms of these new markets, because it's a big step for us, and we're super excited about that. And it's a global kind of reach that we want to achieve. So just moving on. So part 3 is basically our target audience, to give you some insights about that, and the most popular routes we have at the moment, and then something on our geos. So the target audience, it's fairly split between male and female. 57% of our bookings come through male, 43% through female. Our demographic in terms of age group, our biggest age group is 25 to 34 years. 35% of our demographic sit in that bucket. That is growing as well, and that's what we see, and that's what we target. In terms of markets, these are our core markets. Just to name a few, will be Spain, France, the United Kingdom, Germany, Russia, all expanding, all getting very bigger. Like I said, touching on the European markets, we have 100% coverage in those markets. The United States, APAC and LATAM are big targets for us in the future. And in terms of devices, mobile, we see 55% of our bookings coming through mobile. Desktop is still 40%, and tablets 5%. That obviously changes in terms of kind of what marketing channel you're speaking of. As you all know, affiliate is very desktop heavy, and it has been for a long time. There's a slight shift towards mobile over the last couple of years, but the mobile number in terms of our split will grow over time as well. So on to the next slides. So most popular routes. This is data we pulled over the last couple of weeks, and these are absolutely the most popular routes, specifically over the last maybe quarter. So Madrid to Barcelona, London to Paris, Barcelona to Madrid, Paris to London, and Rome to Florence. Not specific to one mode of transport. It's very much an average across trains, buses, and flights. What I'm trying to touch on here, though, is we do have product catalogs per market available. So please contact your Travelpayouts account manager and discuss that with them, and we will get you set up with those. In terms of top performing geos, this just gives you a visual. Like I said, you can see here in terms of our markets where we're very, very strong. It's very highlighted in terms of Europe, and with little kind of speckles across globally. But again, we want to have a global reach, so we hope to have that whole map blue at one stage. Moving on to the next slide. So in terms of Omio and mobile, I want to touch on 2 topics. So basically just the smart banner and why we do that, and the overall goal of the business in terms of mobile, and then also some app-to-app tracking, which we're trying to facilitate at the moment. We'll give you a quick update on that one also. So in terms of the smart banner, this just gives you a view of the flow that you would expect potentially. So user comes from publisher website, here's TripAdvisor, they land on the mobile website of Omio, and they're prompted to download the app through the smart banner, and whatever device they have, they hit whichever app store, whether it's the Google app or the Google Play Store, or it's the Apple Store, and then the user has the app then. In terms of, let me just go back 2 slides, sorry. In terms of app-to-app tracking, this is a topic that is discussed hugely across affiliate marketing. I think you would all agree. And app-to-app tracking is a difficult one, because we all know that when a user comes from a publisher website and goes through this very similar booking flow and decides to download an app, it generally kind of kills or messes with the affiliate tracking links. We're trying to facilitate that for our publishers at the moment. So with the help of Travel Payouts, obviously Omio on my side and Impact Radius, we're amalgamating our kind of data sets to make sure we are facilitating that for our publishers. So like I said, very similar to the catalog feeds, please reach out to your Travel Payouts AM and discuss that specifically with those guys. We should be able to give you some good news very soon. So the affiliate program itself. Some of you are interested in it here today, I believe, and some of you potentially could be already affiliate partners of the Omio Travel Payouts program. So we are rewarding in terms of commissions a 6% CPA on all site sales. So all modes of transport, we're paying 6% on the sale. Monetization of unique and trusted product, of course. We have a very low cancellation rate. It's very low across the industry. It's -2%. Timely and automatic payments on a monthly basis, of course. It's as needed. Real-time tracking and reporting on sales and commissions through each UI. And in terms of the commission model, like I said, it's a CPA. And we have a very competitive, I would say, average order value of €75. That's taken, we averaged that out across the year. But if you take into account busy periods like summer, for instance, June, July, August, for instance, that number can hit 85 in some weeks. So as you can imagine, 6% of that is very decent earnings for a content website, for a voucher website, for a loyalty program, and so forth. I saw a couple of questions in the comments, in the comment section, sorry, about APIs. We do have an Omio search API available. I'll touch on that also, but just to kind of give you guys a heads up. So this is it. So affiliate program API. This is just an example of a partner we work with. We have a fully fledged search API. So Omio always wants to own the customer in terms of payments. So we don't allow the affiliate partners hold payments on their end. So it's specifically just the search API. And what the partner here is doing is they're calling our API for Berlin, Airport Tegel to Paris, Charles de Gaulle. They're getting back that information. They're displaying that on their side. They're embedding a CTA, which is booked now with Omio, and behind the CTA is your affiliate tracking link. Very simple setup. Please bear in mind that our API is only available for affiliates with traffic more than 1 million users. That's our kind of cutoff point. We can't open this up to every single person because of call limits, etc. But over time, we potentially can. But again, please reach out to your AMs and travel payouts to discuss this. We will take cases where we see potential in the traffic in terms of the website or the publisher. If we see there's growth potential there and they haven't hit that 1 million yet, we can definitely talk and try and kind of figure something out. But please bear that in mind when we go forward. So next slide. So in terms of creative assets, all affiliate programs need to have this. So we have banners available in different languages. There's deep links, and we have a search widget. The search widget is actually very, very popular. It's a really, really nice add-on for your website. It gives the user that to and from search to from and dates, arrival dates and departure dates. Once they hit search, they are deep linked into the search results on Omio. So very nice user flow. And that is a responsive widget, so it fits on all pages. We can potentially discuss other options. So again, I advise you to speak to your travel payout AMs, and we can go from there in terms of the widgets. And next slide. So special affiliate award in August. Yes, on top of all of the lovely promotions that Valeria mentioned at the very start of the presentation, we also have a special reward for you guys in August. So we are increasing our commissions to 7% on all site sales for tickets in Italy and Spain. And this is you guys hopefully helping us support a very, very strong offline kind of out-of-home branding campaign that we've launched in Italy. I don't know if anybody here has seen it. I hope you guys have. It's doing very well for us, but we want our affiliates to get on board as well. So we're increasing our commissions to 7%. And going forward for the foreseeable future, there's going to be a lot more of this. So please stay in touch and please stay communicated with your AMs in terms of the special offers we get. on CPAs. We will get exclusive offers from some of our direct providers from time to time. There will be potentially some open vouchers and so forth. Cool. So some examples, working examples, and some information in terms of promo material statistics. So we wanted to highlight the fact what is working well, right? So what you guys can take from this in terms of driving users to Omio. So what we see is 84% of all the bookings and actions and happening at the moment, 84% of them are coming through direct links. So you guys building the content, building the look and feel on your end, and you're just deep linking or linking it out to Omio. Banner is less than 1% in terms of overall kind of material statistics. And that's what I see, and I know from my experience, is Banner has been declining year over year. It's very much a display-driven kind of piece of creative. I think affiliate is very much in terms of when it comes to travel, it's very API heavy, it's very link heavy, and it's very widget heavy, which is great. Some couple of examples. So some content web. We're doing some content in terms of monetization of organic traffic. So you can see the widget is in place here with some decent content about Omio. The next one is again a content website, but this affiliate partner is deep linking into a search result for Omio. So just different type of ways that we can work with you guys, and you guys can work with us. And questions. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope I didn't go too fast through everything.
Thank you, Brian, for a very detailed presentation. It was fast, but I think that you told everything that we wanted to hear. And we have a lot of questions from guys in the chat. So let's start our Q&A session. So let's do it this way. I will publish a question, ask you, and we will discuss the question, okay? Great. So we have a lot of questions about Omio API, and maybe you can tell more detailed what affiliate can do if he has less than 1 million unique users in the month.
Sure.
Yeah,
sure. So like I said, the API it's not open doors to every single partner. We have to take into account the call volumes and the infrastructure on our end and the support that we have to give to people in order to set up the API. So we put a stipulation in terms of affiliate partners need at least 1 million unique visitors on a monthly basis to apply and also to gain access to our API. Like I said during the presentation, we can take instances where we see the traffic volumes in an affiliate partner website. It might not just be at 1 million yet, but it's definitely growing over the last 3 to 4 or 5 months, and we see potential there. We can definitely talk about options, but there needs to be a decent amount of traffic volume in order to access our API.
Maybe some data feed for affiliates who are not so successful but are interested in working with Omio.
Sorry, what was that?
Maybe a data feed for some less successful affiliates.
Yes, potentially, it's an option. We haven't discussed it internally, but yeah, it can be tabled. I think we could take that one offline and discuss that one.
Oh, okay. And we have a very interesting question about SEO templates. So maybe you have some SEO templates for train tickets, for meal tickets, and we can share it with affiliates, or you're going to do some kind of that materials?
It's not something that we're going to communicate externally. It's more kind of an internal setup that we have. However, we have talked about the option of creating bespoke landing pages for our affiliates, some sort of around co-branding. If the affiliate partner is very much a train-specific partner, we can tailor those pages towards that mode of transport, for instance, but always bearing in mind that kind of effort versus return here. So we will build out this bespoke material, but we need to see some sort of decent kind of traffic volume and also that verified traffic, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you. Another question is about your location.
Yeah.
Where are you now? Maybe you can tell where Omio is located.
Yeah, so Omio is headquarters is in Berlin. Yes, it's born and raised in Berlin. And we've got numerous offices now, though. So We've got an office in Berlin where we have about 330 people here. We have another office in Prague, smaller office, a small office in London, and that is it for the time being. But it's an ever-growing business, so I think we're starting to outgrow this office, which is starting to get a little bit tight here. But yes, our headquarters are in Berlin. And where are your most active markets? So our core markets are definitely Germany. This is where we started. We have 100% coverage here. So Germany, UK, France, Spain, Italy, and North America will be our most active markets at the moment.
Okay, thank you. The next question is about example from your affiliates, and I think that we can talk not only about Travel Payout program, maybe you can share about another partners that you work with.
Yeah, interesting examples. That's a tough one. We work with a very traditional set of partners. We have cashback partners. We've got loyalty programs. We've got employee benefit schemes. We've got pure just points programs like the likes of Paybacks. We work with a lot of voucher and coupon websites. We work with some really strong content websites. And we work with a lot of small, big time blogs. We have a student program in place. We work with some meta search websites and some aggregators. So like literally a broad kind of spectrum in terms of affiliate segments. And they all work with us in a slightly different way. In terms of like what we do and how we plan with our partners, we like to put in place like a 3-month plan with some of the bigger guys. And we definitely forward plan as much as we possibly can with the likes of the loyalty programs, the cashback websites, voucher websites. Obviously, there's a lot of planning that has to go into those, but that doesn't take into account the huge amount of content planning that goes into some of the blogs and some of the kind of more content focused websites. But look, we have tons and tons of material assets. We've got the widget in place. We can do direct links. We've got really nice banners and creative. We have the API if it's potential with the partner. So there's tons of kind of levers that the affiliates can use to drive traffic to Omio, right?
Yeah, it's very interesting information. And the next question is about the best conversion product in Omio. I guess that everyone knows the answer, but what is your answer?
Well, what do you think it is?
I think it's trains. Trains, of course.
You think it's trains? You think it's trains? Yeah, you might be right. Look, it's different per market. We definitely have to take into account the markets that we're in. But ground transport is our bread and butter. Like that's what we pride ourselves on. We started as a ground transport travel provider first off and foremost. We only launched our air product in August last year. So we actually only have flights and air online for a year. So trains and buses, and you can imagine, yes, trains is probably the best converting kind of product for us, definitely. And like I said, just in terms of our markets in Europe, we have 100% coverage for ground transport in pretty much every single market in Europe that we're in. So a broad selection of providers, destinations, times, prices, the whole lot.
Oh, great, interesting information. And question about Asian language. Actually, I've checked on Omio's site, and you have Chinese language, but we don't have any other Asian language. Are you going to work with them?
Yeah, so we have a Chinese domain, and we've literally in the last week launched our Japan and Korean domains. So I will share with you those after the call if that would be beneficial. So in terms of our Asian travelers, yes, we have Japanese, Chinese, and Korean languages, and that will expand over time. Like I said, our goal is to make this company go global. Like we've rebranded and we've renamed for that's purely that reason. And Asia and APAC is generally one of the target markets for us. So expect kind of more languages, more landing pages, and definitely expect more providers, direct providers, and more market share in those markets over time.
Yeah, great. Everyone cares about Asian tigers. Do you have a white label or plans to integrate it?
Yes, there's discussions internally about white labels. We are taking it kind of step by step to give you some kind of small insights. It's very much going to sit on the more B2B side for the time being, which is not kind of, we don't class that as affiliate. We're concentrating on our white label for more of our actual direct providers. But it's work in progress. We don't have one launched yet, but once we do, be sure to hear about it in a newsletter from Travelpayouts.
Yeah, we have a lot of questions, so people are interested in that. And I have a very tricky question about your competitors. What are your main strengths? So, for example, we have Trainline company, which goes really fast.
Yeah. So what are Omio's strengths? Like I said, our strength is making travel easy. And the reason we built this business and the reason we feel that there's a huge part of a user that needs some sort of a travel bookable platform like ours is, if you went to most of the direct providers that we work with, they generally have poor mobile websites. They generally have poor apps, and their customer service isn't that great. Their websites in general are quite confusing. So we amalgamate all that information into one website and make it super, super easy. When I touched on that booking flow, where it's basically you hit the homepage, you go to your search results, and then we get you into that booking flow as quickly as possible. If you looked at any of our direct providers like Deutsche Bahn, SNCF, for instance, National Rail, and National Express, they don't have that funnel is quite as easy and quite as straightforward as ours is. So the main goal and the main strength of our platform is we make it very easy for the user. We have tons of payment options, and we've got over 15 languages on site. None of our providers do over that many languages, and it's just making that user experience much easier. And over time, as the product kind of develops and the product gets better and better, the app will basically turn into, like I said, a companion for your travel. So once you book your maybe long distance travel and you get into Europe as an outsider, you still have Omio in your pocket, and you still go to Omio to book your trains, book your buses, find out information about the city, get your guides from the city, X, Y, and Z. Touching on the competition, yeah, look, we know Trainline very, very well. Trainline are very strong in the UK, and we know that. They have the market share there. They've been around for a long time. But we definitely have some features up our sleeve and some kind of USPs that they definitely don't have. And I would love to share a little bit more information, but keep your ears to the ground, and I will be sharing that information probably with you first, Valeria. But we are looking to do a big branding campaign in the UK soon. And it will definitely highlight the fact that our platform is a lot stronger than Trainline's, for instance.
Yeah, I believe you. And we have more questions about your business, about countries which you maybe are interested in joining to. For example, what about LATAM?
Yeah. LATAM's definitely a target of ours. I don't have timelines. If you take LATAM as an example, it's a heavy bus market, and there's nobody down there aggregating those bus providers. There's just nobody doing it. So we've highlighted that. It's a part of our growth for this rebrand, this rename. LATAM is definitely on the list, and that box will be ticked. But over time, but yeah, be safe to say that Omio will be present in LATAM in the foreseeable future.
Okay, and more questions about countries. What about Portugal Railway Company? Why don't you work with it?
So these are commercial agreements that I can't really go into detail. Obviously, these are kind of
you can just say no, it's not interesting.
Well, no, I'd like to give people content to give them clarity on this type of stuff, right? In case this person is purely promoting that route. Portugal has been one of the slower markets in terms of onboarding some of the direct kind of rail companies there. Poland will be very similar. It's very state-owned kind of setup in terms of train. We are in discussions with all these providers, so it just takes time.
Okay, let's see. And questions about Pakistan and India. I think that both of these questions can be answered once. Are you interested in launch in Pakistan and India?
Yeah, so those two markets are, I don't believe, are on the list, or kind of they're not being talked about as much as other markets at the moment. But like, why not? Like, we're looking for a global expansion here. So I know the commercial teams are hugely busy speaking to pretty much every providers in every countries, and it's time over effort. Like we can spend up to a year speaking to a rail provider trying to get them on board. In certain markets. So these things just take time. But I think the effort is going to be put into potentially North America and APAC for the time being.
Okay, actually, not surprisingly. What's your market share in Germany? Uliana is interested.
Yeah, so Germany's a funny one. Obviously, the German market is very heavy Deutsche Bahn, and we have Deutsche Bahn on site. They're a direct provider of ours, and you can book your tickets on Omio for Deutsche Bahn. In terms of bus, Germany is very heavy Flixbus. Flixbus are a particular partner where they always want to own the user. So we do display Flixbus on site, but the actual booking happens off site. So unfortunately, we can't reward our affiliate partners for bookings with Flixbus. And that's pretty much the market when it comes to ground transport in Germany. So it's kind of a 50-50 split between trains and buses, but we have both of the biggest providers on our website. So our market share is pretty high.
Great, it's very interesting, but I want to highlight that in Travelpayouts, we don't pay commission for Deutsche Bahn tickets. So remember it if you work with Germany. And next question, I promise that it's not from one of my colleagues, but people are interested in why did you choose to work with Farrell Payouts?
So I will be completely open here. I joined Omio about 8 to 9 months ago, so Travelpayouts were already a sub network of our affiliate program.
Okay, but that's honest.
that is very honest. But however, it's been a very communicative relationship. You guys are very open to doing a lot of things with your partners, and so are we. And we're always trying to optimize the relationship. We're always trying to give you as much as you possibly can to optimize your partners on your side. You guys are generally have a huge kind of database of partners, like we mentioned, 2,200. Yeah. So it's been a great relationship to date, and long may it last. There's no reason why we would choose one above the other. It's just, as long as the relationship is there, as long as the account managers are working well to kind of drive Omio and drive Omio's name around each market, we're happy with that.
Oh, great. It was nice to hear it from you. And we have a question about your mobile app. Are you going to work with Android SDK for affiliates?
Potentially. I don't know. I wouldn't be able to answer that question. Unfortunately, I'm not on the mobile app side. So.
Okay, but anyway, guys, you always can ask our technical support, and we will provide you information from Omio. And the next question is about your API. I guess that Mike is very interested in joining Omio and work with API. So
yeah. I'll simply answer that one. It's real-time data.
Oh, great.
Yeah. Which is improving. Yeah. Thanks for the question, Mike. But take into account we plug into other APIs as well. But our overall kind of timing and data kind of management between every single API we plug into is improving, and we're launching a new kind of setup over the next kind of half a year, which is going to improve the APIs across the whole of the business, B2B and affiliates. So yeah, it's real time data.
Okay, and one more business development question. What are your plans? Maybe you can share some information which is not confidential.
I'd love to. Most of it is confidential. But kind of market-wise, like I said, North America, LATAM, and APAC are big focuses for us. As much as Europe will always be, but definitely over the next, what are we now? We're August, September. Definitely over the next 2 to 3 months, we'll be making a big announcement that you will obviously be privy to, and you can communicate that to all the Travelpayouts affiliates.
Okay, I'm waiting for it. Yeah. And let's go to more affiliate questions about retarget traffic. So could I retarget traffic to my own website to sell tickets? I read in your rules that retargeting is forbidden, but does it valid only for retargeting on your website or on my website too?
Yeah, good question. Look, we don't want our affiliates doing any retargeting activity because we handle that stuff in-house with our display marketing teams, right? So that's basically the reason. But I take your point. If you were driving the traffic back to your website, potentially then with an API, that could be a possibility. But in general, we don't want our affiliates kind of working in the same kind of path as our display channels.
Okay, I see a point. I think that most of other questions are repeated. So maybe you can give some common recommendation for our affiliates. For example, I'm a blogger. I'm going to work with Omio. I joined Travelpayouts. What am I going to do? I have to create an article or just place the banner? What is the best way?
I think the best thing is to definitely build out some content for the website. If not, build out a fully fledged merchant page for Omio. And we're very supportive of partners building out merchant pages for us, which means we can give a lot more insights to what to put on those pages. I would highly advise any kind of content websites to definitely plug in with our widget. If you are on the bigger side of traffic volumes, let's talk API, and then potentially run some tests around bannering or text links. But as we've seen from the data, text links tend to work better, right? They tend to perform a lot better. And then also contact your Travel Payouts AM and look for some kind of creatives, some assets, and get them onto your page as well. But we're always open to helping you guys build out content if that's what you need. If you need ever any additional information about Omio, we're happy to oblige and happy to supply those things. But there's plenty of tools there to get you started for initial sales.
Great, thank you. And we have one more question from Farrell. What do you mean by merchant page?
So merchant page, I would class a merchant page as a page that would sit on your website that is just specifically for Omio. So take an example as a cashback website. When you go to that cashback website, you can search for all the brands, you click on the brand, and then you hit that brand's merchant page, which is basically a dedicated page for that merchant, which would be Omio. And it will give you, generally what they do is they give you a full section about Omio, which is a nice kind of snippet or blurb. And there's generally the commissions you can earn, some nice creative, and then some additional information maybe around reviews of the website and some kind of customer feedback, X, Y, and Z.
Okay, and I received the same question again and again, and I can't ignore it. The question about Africa.
Is there a plan for Africa? No, just there's not. Unfortunately, I don't have any information about that market. I can give you today. Like I said, we're very much concentrating on North America, Latin America, and APAC at the moment. So Africa hasn't been tabled.
Okay, I see. So, guys, do you have more questions or everything is okay? And if you have no questions, I think that it's time to say goodbye. Yes, thank you, Brian, for joining our webinar. Yes,
thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone who joined us, and we will send you an email with more answers for questions. And bye-bye.
See you. Ciao. Thanks, everyone.